This is the BMW i8 with a 3-cylinder turbo engine and a great big electric motor. It goes like absolute hell, can be plugged in to recharge its batteries, accelerates like a Corvette Stingray, and drinks fuel like a Toyota Yaris. There's also the Porsche 918 Spider. That is the sound of a partial electric-powered 2-seat railgun with a V8 engine and electric motors producing 887 horsepower in a nearly $1 million supercar that practically turned my brains into zoodles.
Both of those machines use relatively small gasoline engines and use electric motors to then boost performance even further. You get heaps of on-demand torque from the motors, and those motors mean the gas engine has to do less work, which saves fuel. Result, more power, less emissions, and better mileage, and that's win-win stuff. And as you just saw, owning a partial electric car doesn't mean driving around in a beige pod while everyone laughs at you. Of course, if an exotic 2-seater is not in your realm of possibilities, don't worry. This partial electric stuff is catching on fast, and there's another example of it with room for the family in this, the Volvo XC90 T8.
What Drake is to the Canadian music scene, this XC90 is to the luxury SUV scene. It's won like every award, in this case largely by ticking off all of the right luxury crossover boxes and wrapping it all in a package that's genuinely unique, something new and exciting in a market full of familiar faces. This one's the XC90 T8 twin engine. Confusing since it doesn't have 8 cylinders or 2 engines either. That designation is what Volvo calls this powertrain, a 2-liter 4-cylinder with turbocharger and supercharger, good for 311 horsepower, but the front and rear electric motors boost that to 400 horses and closer to 500 pounds of torque. They're powered by a battery pack mounted low and lengthwise in the XC90's body. The battery is recharged by the gas engine or by plugging it into a power outlet like the free ones they put outside of IKEA, my favorite place in the universe if you're feeling extra Swedish. The XC90 sucked back electrons while I browsed for cabinets and gorged on meatballs, and an hour later I got 20 kilometers of bonus gas-free driving. Those motors, well, they can drive the XC90 all by themselves at times or use their monster torque to boost the output of that little gas engine. With a full battery, you're good for about 40 clicks, even up to and beyond highway speeds using no gas at all.
In very simple terms, this is a 400 horsepower all-wheel drive SUV which is capable of using no gasoline and turns in a fuel bill like a Honda Accord when it does. And where performance is concerned, well, it might be time to rethink the old idea that there's no replacement for displacement. All of this horsepower and torque, along with low emissions and slashed fuel bills, beg to differ.
You don't get this sound of displacement here. Weird, because this thing can consume pavement like a big old V8, but without making much of a peep. This powertrain is liquid smooth, whisper quiet most of the time, and as you cruise in the lap of luxury, there's virtually no indication that the efforts of electric motors and a gas engine are constantly combining and switching to glide you along. You can watch it all from this active power meter system that shows you how much gasoline and electricity are presently at play. Performance driven gently, not only do you get heaps of torque right now that gush the XC90 ahead with just a millimeter or two of throttle, but it does that all noiselessly thanks to the whisper quiet motors. Hammer down, gas and electric systems go full speed ahead. The motorized torque gets you moving instantly as the gas engine supercharger and then turbocharger get up to speed. No power curve either, you just get quietly plowed into your seat. It's enjoyed from a unique cabin designed to hit above its price point with futuristic displays, the playful use of wood and stitching and metal and accenting, and among the best seats you'll visit all day. The atmosphere is warm, relaxing, and inviting, and totally unique. If you want a luxury cabin that focuses more on materials and build quality than tech and buttons, well, then this is what you've been looking for. Plus, with 3 rows of flexible seating, you can take any combination of gear and passengers along for the ride. Second row seats are adult-friendly with lots of headroom. The third row seats are fine for kids who will be able to access them easily. Larger adults, yeah, not so much. I wouldn't want to sit back here for too long. Thankfully, you get a generous wide cargo hold when those seats are folded down, and for easier entry and exit, the air suspension system can even squat the XC90 down when you park. How she drive? Peacefully. The big wheels mean ride quality diminishes quickly on really rough roads, but on most other ones it's laid back, body motions are kept in check, and the whole thing feels creamy smooth. That feel, which largely defines the way the XC90 rides, steers, and even handles, extends into the rest of the vehicle. Every switch, lever, control, button, and even this questionable looking gear shifter, finished in luxury glass, feels smooth and buttery. And she handles too. This is a big heavy SUV, but engage sport mode and drive it like you stole it, and it's ready to play ball. Also notable, headlights. Volvo does them right, and high beams on the XC90 is a four-wheeled light cannon. Mileage? Plugging the XC90 in every night at home and doing my daily errands used virtually no fuel. Most of the gas I did burn was on the highway. All said, I averaged 8.9 liters per 100 clicks. Literally, I've put more fuel through a Honda Civic. Gripes, the heater is one, since when you try to heat a great big cabin with a tiny little engine that's designed to be off as much as possible, there are compromises. Leave it in the pure drive mode, which uses as little gas as possible, and it's a good long while before the cabin heats up. I'm fond of being warm, and in this weather that means using a drive mode that runs the engine more often, which eats away at the fuel savings. Further, the release mechanism that allows access to the third row seats sounds and feels flimsy, and you'll frequently wonder if you've busted it. End of the day, if you're after the most award-winning luxury SUV on the market, powered by among the market's most advanced partial electric powertrains, there's really not much else to consider. XC90 starts at $55,650 with the T8 twin engine coming in from $77,650. Thanks for watching.